Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. This is the translation of the message that she sent to me. The translation reads like this. I'm not even sure where to start. I have lived with this secret for a very long time, thinking that I can carry them to the grave, that the silence would protect me from the shame, the guilt and the fear, but it is all catching up to me now, consuming me like the rat that has been eating away at my womb for a very long time. But all these years, I never knew that there was a rat, the same rat that I had gone to take in Hillbrow that was giving me money. It was now eating at my womb. I never thought that, but I used to feel some pain in my womb. But I never thought that it was because of that tokoloshi that was given to me. Before anything happens to me, I just feel like I need to confess. I came to Johannesburg. This was a very long time ago, somewhere around 2012. I arrived in Musina. I met a man who was a local man who told me that he was going to get me to Joburg, and indeed, he got me to Joburg. We started staying together. But then we dumped each other because the man, he was a womanizer each and every weekend, never at home, always drinking his alcohol. And when he would return back, he would not have any money at all. When I said enough is enough, for the first time in my life, when I found out that I had an STI drop to be specific, and then I started working. Like I remembered that the reason as to why I had came to this country, it was because for me back home in Zim, I had no life to speak of. Life had become so hard. My mom, she was already old. She was sick and there was no work. I had tried everything. I had tried going around the fields after people would have harvested. Then I would pick up some maize cobs and try to get something to eat. But there were no longer any opportunities in the villages and also in the city. No way out of the poverty that surrounded us. That was when I heard that there were people that were traveling to South Africa, working there, coming back with money, and if you could manage your finances, some they were even building their houses in the villages, sending their children to school. I wanted that life, so I packed my things and left home, promising my mom that I would send money back once I got settled down. After me and that man had broken up, God blessed me. I then found work as a maid for a very wealthy family. They were an Afrikaans-speaking family. They were the kind of rich people that you can read about. They had everything. They were kind, and they were really kind to me. But maybe the devil was the one who was calling me to end up doing these money-making rituals. Brother Nashi, I got fired for a very simple reason. All that I did was that I stole a loaf of bread. So I stole a loaf of bread. This was after some women who were also working in that gated community told me that they do the same. And you know, when you are working as a maid, there is a time whereby you meet and you will be discussing, talking. So there was one woman who said that I do not buy bread for my kids. I just take the bread and then I would go with it because they are rich. They will never see that I have stolen a loaf of bread. So when I did it only once, I was caught, Brother Nashi, and the woman was really angry. They said that they were going to fire me. And I said, but it was just a loaf of bread. And then they said that it is all about principles in life. You have to be a principled person. Today, if you steal bread, tomorrow you are going to steal something that is more valuable to me. So we are going to let you go. I was in pain. I did not know what else to do. I did not want to become so desperate, so much to return back to that man who had given me an STI. I then started working for this other Somalian man, those ones that go around selling blankets and whatnot. So what I did not know about these people is that like they stay together as a huge family. Like these people, they were staying together. There were 10 brothers staying together. And I did not know that if you are dating one, then it means that all of them, it is like they have a right to sleep with you. So I was working at the brother's shop while he will be going around selling the blankets in the location. This man then told me that he wanted to make love to me. So I agreed. After I had started sleeping with this Somalian man, then his brother, the first brother, slept with me, the second one, until 10 of them. They were now exchanging me, but not all at once. I was always tired. These people, they were sleeping with me, not giving me anything at all. I then ran away. When I ran away, that was when I got myself involved in prostitution. It was because of the abuse that had happened at that workplace. So since now I was a prostitute, I was not afraid of anything. I was not even afraid of anything. That was when I thought of going to this other Nigerian man whom I knew was in Hillbrow. This man, they used to be those sangomas that would give out flyers if you wanted to make money really quick. So I had spoken with one. The night that I decided to go to Hillbrow, it was late at night. I took a taxi to Hillbrow. My heart was pounding the entire way. The place was chaotic, noisy. The streets were filled with people moving in each and every direction. It was quite scary even for a prostitute like me. I found the building, a rundown block of flats with broken windows and whatnot. It did not look like the kind of place where magic money could be happening. The man who opened the door was not what I expected. He was a tall, well-dressed and a calm man, and then he brought me into the apartment. The apartment, it was really dark and scary. And he was like, "Oh, you have come here because you have been suffering." He said, "I can help you." I nodded, unable to speak. I told him about my life, the abuse that had happened, and now working as a prostitute, something that I never thought that would happen to me. He listened, then he handed me a small rusted metal box and he said, "Inside this box, there is a magic rat. This rat is going to give you great wealth and power, everything that you desire." I did not want to ask him a lot of questions because I was scared. All that I wanted was to be free from the hell that I was living in. He explained that the rat needed to be fed, that I had to make sacrifices to keep it satisfied. He told me that I was supposed to sacrifice my mother. He told me that I had to carry this rat with me to Zim, and after my mom would have died and after my mom would have been buried, I was supposed to return back to South Africa and I was going to make a lot of money. He then gave me a little piece of paper, and inside that paper he said that there was slow poison. I was only supposed to mix it into her food when I would have returned back home. And he said that it will take a couple of days and she will die slowly. Even if she dies, when they do a post-mortem on her, they're not going to see that she has died of food poisoning. And then that was when I went to Zim. I visited my mom under the pretense of helping her. And when I was busy preparing a meal, that was when I added the drop of that slow poison and I continued cooking. I gave her the food and I told her that I just wanted to buy some bread and cool drink. That was all that I wanted. So she ate, and over the next few days I watched her as she was growing weak. We took her to the hospital and they did not even know what was happening. She died and I wept so hard at her funeral. Deep down I knew that my sacrifice had worked, just like that man had promised me. I returned back to South Africa, and all of a sudden, I got a job that was paying me much better. I used to ask myself, how did I even get this job? Because at this place, there were people that had degrees, people that had a lot of experience, but I was there getting paid the same money. But I knew that it was because of that magic rat that had been given to me. Then all of a sudden, I now had my own flat and I had money, dating the man that I wanted. And I was the one who would be dumping a man since I had all the money that I wanted, because the rat was giving me money. So at night I would hear scratching sounds in the walls, and I knew that this was supposed to happen since this rat will be going around visiting the neighbors' houses stealing money. So last year, that was when I felt so lonely and I decided that I wanted a child, not with any specific man. I said, amongst my many boyfriends, I'm going to choose one who I am going to sleep with Raw, not using any condoms, and then he can impregnate me and I will dump him. So I tried and I tried, but nothing happened. That was when I went to the doctor. The doctors told me that my womb was gone, eaten away, and there is no medical explanation for it. It seems as if there was something that slowly consumed the tissue over time, like my uterus just shrinked. So it has been the rat that has been feeding on me. I went back to Nigeria. I looked around for that man, and then the man told me that I told you that this thing in the end, it was going to happen. But this man, he cheated me. He tricked me. He never told me that this rat was going to eat my womb. He only told me about the sacrifice that I had to do when I would return back home. That is all that I remembered. This man cheated me and tricked me. Yes, I have money, but I am lonely. I have no child at all. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.